Hello, everyone. Welcome to another installment of Erin's Book Club. I know the lighting kind of sucks, but it's late at night, and this is the only time I have to do this book review before I forget about it. So I read the book, I think last week, and it was one that's been sitting on my shelf forever because I kept buying new books and not wanting to read the books that I have. Now, to counteract that, I've set two rules for myself. I'm no longer allowed to order any online books except for my birthday and Christmas. My used books and that kind of thing I can still pick up. But because I very rarely go out in the physical world to get books, it helps curb my spending habits. So, the book review I have to do today is Pitch Dark by Courtney Alameda. Alameda, I hope I said it right. You're not going to be able to see the cover, but the cover is basically a skull with a starry background. So, I'm going to read the back of it for you so that you understand where I'm coming from. My footsteps whisper off the walls. The ship groans as if it aches. And far away, a scream cuts through the tunnels. I freeze. But I can't know if if the sound's organic, human, or otherwise. Every few seconds, the floor shudders. The temperature climbs the further I descend into the ship. Without warning, the walls stop. My hand shoots into empty space, and I freeze. If I get lost in this darkness, I'll never find my parents, I'll never get out, and I'll die here. So, first and foremost, the book is really well written. It's the first science fiction that I read, I think, this year. And basically, it's the same old in that we have screwed up the planet. And as a fail-safe effort, we divided the planet, put everything into a bunch of ships, and then sent these ships out to try to find planets that they could terraform with the crew going into stasis. And with the crew going into stasis, you're open on the ship where the stasis pod gets unlocked and the crew comes out of stasis way past the time that they thought that they would find another planet and terraform it, something like 400 years. And as they come out of stasis, they found out that some of the others that have come out of stasis have been mutated into monsters that kill the rest of the crew, which again is the same old based on what your scientific or science fiction books tend to be. Then you meet another person who runs a up-to-date modern spaceship that goes around looking for these relics and tries to get information from them and hopefully bacteria from them in order to fertilize the soil in these new planets that they're going to. And you start off by following each character individually, which becomes kind of jarring to read because the author tends to finish the chapter just as something really exciting is happening, and then we start the next chapter in a boring part of the other character until they literally crash into each other and find each other, and the two of them, it's more cohesive that way. But either or, it was a really well-written book. It was a really fun adventure. It was something I enjoyed, something that I was able to really get involved into and really get drawn into the story. The only thing negative that kept running out is it got a little bit preachy in the end, because part of this story, there are these terrorists that are trying to stop the human race from terraforming another planet because they feel that we don't deserve to go to another planet because we destroyed our own, which in the end, I can't say I disagree with them. But there's these terrorists, and so basically it becomes you destroyed this planet, our planet's important, we're all going to go up in smoke, yada, yada, yada. It was very preachy, and it was like the author didn't trust us as readers to understand that concept. Also, the concept of bigotry, hatred, and racism was, and like basically specifically hatred towards Spanish-speaking folk, was the main theme of the book and this divide between whites and dark colored people and the hatred between them was also kind of hitting you on the head as a main focus of the book, which was frustrating at first and kind of came out of nowhere at first. And I didn't really understand it at first until I read the afterword of the book, which is why it's kind of important to read afterwards. Where do we say here? Yeah. So then she writes here, see that the book was going to start off as just a regular book, but she heard something that made the book change. Um, okay, so, but in the midst of the second draft, I heard a candidate for the office of president of the United States call Mexican immigrants rapists and murderers, and something inside me broke. So it made a lot more sense, the theme of hatred throughout the book. The only problem with that is I understand how she would feel, because that individual president is one that I don't agree with at all. And I understand where she's coming from, but the problem is it was so heavy-handed in the book that it kind of detracted from the point she was trying to make, again, because I don't think she believed us as readers intelligent enough to understand that, hate equals bad. Other than that, really well done book. And one that I think I'm going to read, she wrote a book called Shudder that I think I might also read to figure out if it's an author that I'm going to really like. All in all, though, really good book. Not anything majorly wrong to say about it. Really interesting ending. I really enjoyed it. And I guess I'll let you know when I have another book read. And thank you for listening.